Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial for Mobius ring with Black Bull. I'm just going to kind of run through it a couple times and, I don't know, talk about whatever I can think about. First thing is for this opening here, you've kind of got two strats. You can either like MTS left slash most of the side attack right, or I guess TS left like this, and then kind of by the time you get to here, you just kind of like, basically, you only like TS left for a moment to keep your grip broken. And pretty much the whole time you're like holding R, holding right, and matching side attacks, but you want to like not re-grab your grip, because it helps you turn sharper. But you also don't want to hold L, because then you're not strafing it sharply, so you don't get as much speed out of it. That's the strat that I recommend. The other strat you can do is you can TS right, which you'd think would make more sense, and I think it might be better optimally, but like this. But I found that they're pretty similar actually. I think part of the reason is because, well, I guess also I'm like worse at MTSing right, or MTS training right. But the fact that you have to switch directions loses time, and then you also like lose speed. But if you do this right, you go into this section with quite a bit of speed here. So I recommend doing TS left or just like side attack right. But I guess it's up to you. I'll get back to that in a minute. Actually, I'll just jump back to it right now. You can pretty much exit the last MTS like into the refiller, and like you think you'd go flying around, but if you only do one, like if you exit with side attacks into the refiller, it doesn't really bounce you around. Like you kind of wobble a little bit, but it's fine. So like I can just kind of go over here and I don't know. To line up, it's the same line here. This MTS is a billion times easier, like just keeping grip broke and stuff like that. The mind boosts, like you have to be a little bit more direct, because they're gonna push you around a little bit more if you don't hit them straight on. But like, if you don't get like a great mind boost, it's not really the end of the world. Whereas like with Gallant, it's kind of hard to get the MTS if you're not going very fast. But like with Black Bull, you can pretty much like do it without even having mind boost speed. So you just kind of hope for the best. Okay, well did I get the shift boost there? Oh, I did. That's funny. If you get the shift boost, I don't really know what to do. It seems to happen more with Black Bull than never did with me with Gallant, but I think like if you quick turn like twice and then lead into an MTS, it might be best. Anyway, I'll go one more to like show after that, assuming I don't get the mind or the shift boost. So yeah, I really recommend doing it this way, but if you find TSing right is easier, then that's fine. If I restart again, I'll like show up TSing right for like how I would exit it and stuff. See, I just got it again, like. Anyway, so I just I do one here, and I usually do two side attacks to exit that last one, because if you do three, you'll get pushed too far, and like the refiller kind of coming up, since it's on a lump, it'll kind of like throw you off if you side attack the third time. But usually two side attacks is good to like pretty much push you right into the refiller or somewhere around there, and at least you're like going straight, and you don't side attack like off the ridge that it's on, so it's okay. The big thing for getting refillers is actually you want to stick steer as much as possible and not use strafe, because if you use strafe, like Black Bull has this weird thing where like when you start strafing for a short moment, it seems like it's likely to break your grip. Whereas like once you're strafing, it helps keep your grip like with everything else, but when you first press it, it seems like it loses your grip. Anyway, so then as soon as you get refill, you just start MTS training. I pretty much just boost here. That's kind of messy because I like paused into it, but basically once the lap starts, I just boost, and then I just stick steer right. And as soon as like once I get to somewhere around like here or so, I realize like I can't really stick steer anymore. So pretty much like where you would want to start quick turning, if you were using like Gallant or something like that, or like where you needed to, is when I started MTS. So that was kind of confusing. I'll explain when I get there. So sometimes if you like miss a mine, you just leave it for later. Like I said, it's really not the end of the world. It makes that next boost a lot faster. You can also just like exit, and also once you get a refill, you can just MTS off the strip. So I just kind of stick steer, and then I start an MTS, and then I usually exit with 2, maybe 3 side attacks. And you want to exit it somewhere around the or around the booster, because like there's the ridge there, and if you hit the ridge too early before the booster or too late, you might get thrown off the side of the course. So I find like aiming for the booster is good. Plus you get the booster speed as well. So for right here, I boost like once more, and then I do that setup like I'm going for the MTS into shift boost. Even if you don't get it, it still seems like it's the easiest way to handle that. Like and it's also a lot easier to get with black hole. Like I caught air there, I wobbled instead, but I don't know. It's like not that hard to get. So I suggest just going for it. So you just like, fuck, I'll get there again and try and show it off. This is why I wanted to use emulator and save states, but computer was not quite good enough to do it, so it's too bad. But I was going to show off the other direction. Lap 3 is pretty much the same as lap 2, so it won't be as in depth, but when you switch like that, I recommend doing like 1 TS just to get your speed back up a little bit, but then you can just MTS after that. Here I recommend switch whenever you feel comfortable. You don't want to like straighten out like I did there. I just did that for because I was talking. But yeah, you probably just want to keep MTSing the same direction unless you're more comfortable MTS chaining right. Then you can like switch after like maybe 2 more MTSs after the long one. Then you can switch and you can chain left or chain right rather. But yeah, anyway. So hit that, boost again, MTS, straighten out. And like boost once more, MTS, tap A, MTS again, instantly. So like whether or not you get it, you MTS, tap A, and instantly MTS again. And then we get to around here, you tap A again to regrip. If you're going kind of slow, you can take one of these mines. So I don't really have a speed number, but it feels like you're kind of going kind of slow. I recommend you take one of those mines. If you're going fast, then leave it. Leave it for lap 3 to combine them together. Sometimes if your energy's kind of low, you can like do a second chain there, but there's the concern of that happening. Also, that was what I was talking about because I exited the MTS and kind of the wrong place. Alright, so for boost laps, after this long MTS here, what I recommend doing is usually you about like you do 3 side attack exits. So after the long one, you side attack exit, MTS, side attack exit, MTS, and side attack exit. So I guess like 2 more MTSs after the long one. And then after you get out of that, then you boost. And hold the boost until about like, probably around here or so, maybe here. But then you start MTS left, 3 side attacks, and then like when you get to here, you'll just tap A. Kind of like how on the other side of the course, you tap A to so that you don't have to like, so you don't lose your grip with the side attack move, and you just kind of like take the speed loss so you can line up for the refiller. Yeah, sometimes chaining is kind of weird. I should probably like stop dying so I can show off the rest, but if you ever like find yourself not really knowing what to do, just keep MTS chaining until you know what to do. So like right there I kind of did it on accident because I was like too far to the left. So I just like did another chain just because like, I don't know, until you figure out what to do. It's usually a good strat because it keeps your speed up and it causes you to go fast. Oh, right there, when the ground's twisting back, when you start the next MTS, hold L a little bit longer than you normally would. Because like sometimes you'll catch air when you first start the MTS again, or like as your side attack exiting out. So by holding L for a little bit longer, then in case you accidentally re-grab the ground for a moment, it'll like re-break it instantly. You did that on all 3 laps, but I don't know if you kind of saw like I blipped there for a minute. So yeah, that was like a pretty good exit. It went like right into the booster. If you go for that MTS into shift boost without boosting, you'll get more speed out of it, but it's harder to get because you're not boosting, you're not going as fast. So I guess, especially if you're not going for it, I suggest you boost right there, where I didn't. But anyway. Try to avoid quick turning, it's really bad. Also remember that the mines don't give as much speed if you're boosting, so keep that in mind if you want to like go for like if you want to do one mind boost on lap 2. But yeah, I suggest you just do it like that, and then you go for it, and then it's... Sometimes you'll hit that wall, but usually it's alright. Sometimes if you're going really fast before right there, you can do just one more MTS before boosting again. So either like 2 or 3 depending on if you're going fast or not. So, I mean that was kind of the basics of it. I don't know if I covered everything. I guess I'll run through it like one more time and make sure I didn't like miss anything. But I think that was pretty much it. Sub 120 is fairly simple like that. Like it still requires a fairly clean run, but it's not complicated at least. So yeah, TSing, or like side attack turning right, but with your grip loss. I wish probably should have thought about doing like a controller cam. I have a webcam, but like to show it off. But it's not that big of a deal. So you line up to mines. Make sure you're holding L a little bit longer there. 2 side attacks. Probably 2 side attacks would be consistent exit strat for that. Go for the MTS into shift boost. Don't get it, doesn't matter. I probably shouldn't have gone for that because I was in boost state. But so yeah, since I just kind of like crashed into the wall, I'm just gonna like MTS a little bit to, I don't know, try and get my speed back up. Remember that like when you MTS chain, when you come out of it, like you end up getting a fair amount of speed. So like it's the best way to get yourself back up to speed before you start boosting again, I guess. If that makes sense. But yeah, I think that was mostly it. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. But